Yo, what it do? It's Big Dirty. I'm rocking with Power Forward, Real and Wood.
What's up? My name is Justin Austin. I'm from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Make sure y'all check out the new podcast called Power Forward with Real and Wood, man. They talking about everything basketball, man. Make sure y'all check that out as soon as possible. You ain't got nothing else better to do but sit at home, work, listen to music, and listen to podcasts. So might as well add this one to the list. Make sure y'all check it out, man. These dudes some cool cats, and they know what they're talking about. Peace.
It's your boy Vic King checking in with Wood and Rail, Power 4 Podcast, best hoop podcast in the nation.
What's up, world? Kendrick Tate, a.k.a. KTZ. Yo, when I power forward, it's got to be with Rail and Wood.
Welcome, y'all. Welcome to Power Forward with Rail and Wood.
Man, you tuned in. Today we got a special guest, a very special guest. My little brother himself, Brandon Lopez.
What's going on, man? Glad to be here. It's a pleasure.
Man, Lopez, what's going on, man?
Man, none. So, right now, working the old corporate life. It's a blessing. I'm living in Houston, Texas. Been down here for, I think I moved down here in February. Been there for about, 5-6 months now. Really like it. Like, it's a whole lot of culture down here, a whole lot of opportunity. Big change coming from Knoxville, Tennessee.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So, man, for all the people who don't know you, man, tell them where you from, man.
Yeah, man. I'm born in Jacksonville, Florida, but, of course, raised in Knoxville, Tennessee, East Knoxville. Born and bred Austin East Road Runner. Raised by, single mother, Barbara Liggett. Basically did everything for me. Come from the Liggett family. Basketball raised by Jazz and Howard Kimber, through the mud. Playing with them. I believe when I was 9 years old, we met up, the Ballers. That was the first time we all got together, man. Just really, from the time we was 9 up until the time we were 10 years old, traveling all over the United States, just playing basketball, man, trying to achieve a dream, going to D1, just going to college in general.
Right.
But,
So you fell in love with the game early then?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I fell in love with the game probably when I first started playing, actually, like at the YMCA, which is the E.V. Davidson now in East Knoxville. Like, I had my first game there, playing because since, I just really fell in love with the game. I felt like Howard and Jazz playing with them, they just kind of, really molded all of us to, I guess, have a killer mentality towards the game and with the game.
Definitely
that pride. Yeah, absolutely. Like, what I was talking about was pride. That's one thing, that, has set us for life. It's out there. We'll certainly be grateful for,
Cool.
Oh, yeah. So, Jay, we got to ask him.
We got to ask him, though.
Lopez.
I want you to think, man. Yeah. Think about it. Go ahead, Wood.
Okay.
What is the most embarrassing moment you had on the basketball court, man?
Man. I think about when I was younger and I had a bit of attitude, man. Oh, man. That's a tough one. We had some wild times growing up.
Somebody got it now.
We had some wild times growing up. Oh, I'll bring up to this. I won't really call it embarrassing. I call it humbling. Austin Rivers. That was a tough one, man.
Yeah.
It's just like it's just like give all you can give on defense and just like we always say, a better offense is way better than your best defense, man. It was just bad. Like each time we played him, it was 40. Played him 3 times, I believe. Played him in college too, and it was like 20-something that game. But yeah, he caught me with a face-up jab. He grabbed on the block. On the right side, I was on a fast break. I was already leaning off on my stance a little bit, so he got me rocking with the jab one way. I jumped back that way quick. Caught me with a hook around, came around. Don't flush quick. NBA, NBA caliber talent, man. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely ready. He was definitely.
I definitely say that was it. Yeah, he was definitely ready, man.
People don't realize, man. I was coaching AAU in Atlanta. That same age group that you was in, that class. So we used to run into Austin Rivers back in the day, man, like 7th, 8th grade, and he was a killer.
Yeah.
He was a killer.
Yeah, you can always tell,
You always
I feel like you can always project how good they'll be in the NBA, but you can always can tell with like somebody in the NBA for sure.
yeah. Because the first time we saw him, Lopez, I know you remember that.
Mm-hmm.
It
It
was
was
like,
down in Orlando, Florida. It was like the skill set was about 2 times greater than everybody else. You could tell he had NBA level training, NBA level IQ, and his athleticism and his quickness was better than everybody else. Not significantly better. He was a lot of talent and like both levels in our class, but definitely like a next player, you know.
Right.
yeah,
Good to see him well in the NBA. He was counted out by a lot of people, you know.
Right.
Counted out by a lot of people. Like he got a lot of flack for Doc, but it's really good to see him doing well in the league.
definitely.
Yeah.
So, man, I got a question, man. I mean, it's kind of obvious answer. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm the one that should be asking you this question since we kind of related. Since I used to be the coach at Vine, you know
Yeah,
what I
man.
mean? You got that Vine blood in you. You know what I'm saying? Looking good, boy. But what made you choose Austin East when you first started high school? Cause ain't that where you chose to go?
Yeah. So like I grew up, you know, going to Austin. It's like a baby road runners football right there at Cloud Walker Field. You know, like my uncles, aunties, family member, like grandpa, everybody went to Austin East. So it wasn't really a choice for me. You know, like I love Austin East. That's one of the reasons why I came back from, you know, as y'all do know, you know, I went to my junior. That's one of the reasons why I came back my senior, just because like my love for Austin East is where I always, you know, dreamed of graduating.
Yeah.
Proud high school, man. Yeah.
Cool. You know, I think I can't remember what year it was. I don't know if that was at the beginning or the end. But do you remember, I think you hit a last second shot to beat the Fulton Falcons
Yeah, man.
at Fulton. What year was that, man?
That was my sophomore year of high school, so 2008, 2009 season. I believe it was in December 2008.
There you go.
Yeah, that was a good one, man. We definitely. To be honest, was a lucky shot. Something crazy about it, bro, is that like G told me that Nana and Jalen told him that I banked that shot in. I was like, bro, I ain't know where I banked the shot in. Then they showed me the film right off the glass. I didn't know until almost like 5-6 years later, bro. He told me in college. Boom. It was unbelievable.
The bank was open.
Straight. The bank was open that night, man. I remember like after I hit the game-winning shot, my mama came down as I was like, you know, coming back in the country, because you got to make a big shot like that. So as I'm coming back in the country, she like running on the court. She grabbed me, trying to pick me up. I'm like trying to push her off of it. Like the teammates jumping on me and all that. My friend like holler at Jazz, dap him up and all that, man. It was a surreal moment. Yeah. Especially in those games like that, man. Because I don't think, you know, because like not pulling any flack from like anybody. It's like generation in class, but like I feel like our generation is really like what got Knoxville basketball, you know, really like elevated to the level that it is right now. Really like first stuff. And like when we was playing against each other, like those games were packed, you know, like standing room, like you really like they got to get the fire marshal to get people out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just like performing in the atmosphere, like in the game when the shot was like I'll never forget.
Especially on the big time rival.
So,
yeah, especially with some school that I grew up hating forever, you know.
Hey man, easy now, easy. You know, I ain't from here. I'm on both sides. I'm kind of on both sides right now. You know what I'm saying?
I can't knock it.
Hey, I got another question, man. So when you was in high school, thinking about your teammates, who was a couple guys that brought it, man? They brought it at practice every day. They made you better. You appreciated them. They was feisty.
Trevor Pryor.
Yeah.
Trey, like growing up playing with Trevor and then playing with Trevor in high school was such a pleasure. Like I don't think, because you know, like I don't, especially been a point guard, I really think like folks really understood how much like I enjoy playing. You know, like I've played with like a lot of good people, some folks in the NBA, some folks that had very, very successful careers overseas, ETC, but like that's definitely one of my top 3 favorite players I played. Brought it every single practice, brought it every single game. Might not like everything that he gonna say, but you know, you gotta listen to what he gonna say. You know what I'm saying? Like I told Linwood, like I told, as far as the pure basketball talent, you know what I'm saying? Like not the skill set of like accolades and all that stuff. Like as far as pure talent, I feel like Trevor was like pound the best raw talent of that era of basketball that we came up in. You know what I'm saying? Like if you think about like the Draymond Greens or like the way that the game is nowadays, Joe Ford, man, like Shrek could shoot, he could pass, he might have not blocked 1,000 shots, but he could take several charges. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was a menace on the backside. He was a brilliant basketball player. I can go on about it. But definitely have to say Trave. And like another person in high school too that I played with, like I have to say, AAU-wise, so it was very intense. Like a lot of people don't know was Galen. Galen was very, very intense to play with, especially like in high school with AAU. Like I met few people that's as competitive as he is. You know, like he's like unless you really know, you know, he's like a real chill dude. Like you know what I'm saying, real quiet and such like that. Like around people, you know, moving slow motion. Like on the court, it's like a completely different person. You know.
Yeah.
Like I might have to like those two people. You know, yeah, definitely like had a different mindset about them.
Yeah, true.
In terms of like who I play with a lot. Yeah.
Treve was my kind of guy, man. I think
Yeah,
I
man.
could have coached him, y'all. You already know I would have had him on 100.
Yeah.
Looking back on it, man, I didn't appreciate Treve enough because like I was a bit immature in high school, you know, and I definitely didn't appreciate him as much as I should have. Man. Like looking at it, I would have thrown the ball every time. It seems so simple in hindsight, 2020, you know, but I mean, Harry used to tell us that all the time, but just give him the ball. But no.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that, man.
He can shoot it. Left-handed can shoot it. Oh man, Trave was at the
shoot it for 25, could pull up, could shoot floaters, bro. It was unbelievable. And he'll talk.
Hey,
and he gonna talk bad to you.
And he gonna talk trash, but here was the other thing about him, man. The dude would then step out on the football field and was a heck of a defensive
Yeah, man. I forgot about that, man.
Yeah.
He was a heck of a defensive
Yeah. Well,
hey,
good.
I heard stories that real quick. I've heard a couple stories about Treve. You know, I heard that he didn't play a lot of football. You know, he stepped out there here and there, and he had got some interest from like UT and stuff like that. You know, they was looking at him like a project. And then I had also heard, I don't know if any of y'all heard about this. I had heard that the University of Memphis at one time had showed a little bit of interest in him on the basketball court.
Yeah, definitely. Because Trave in high school, man, Trave in high school was just different because he did everything, and you'll be like, man, why is he moving so fast? He's so big.
Right.
6'7", 230, legit.
All right, man. One more question I got for you, Dom, that I'm thinking about, man. Who was that dude in town? Like you know, that guy. Y'all might even grew up together. You know how it is. You know, some dude that you always run up against, and y'all just always kind of, or you had to bring your special sauce when you played against this guy.
I would say because I played against him the most in high school, Jalen still, of course. But like I've said, it's good to go on the record finally saying this on camera. I believe that he's the best player to ever come out of Knoxville, period. You can't deny 2 state championships. You can't deny Mr. Basketball in East Tennessee, along with that treacherous 2010 class. People don't understand that 2010 class was in basketball. He took them all down. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't see how people can argue that. And then he won like, state championships at full. And like, if you go back and look at those teams, you really like think about, you know, basketball and the way that the game is played and such like that. Nothing against those teams, but he, like him, James, and you know what I'm saying, the rest of the game, they literally wielded the boys to championships. They were not talented at all. Like in terms of like, you know, a whole bunch of teams like put him on his back. It's like, come on, we're gonna go with these state championships. He got them 2 of them. And then he won Mr. Basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like if you really look on those teams, Jalen was the tallest person on their team. You know what I'm saying? Like you had Reggie, but like Reggie was like, you know, hold down the back end, but you really had people like Lamar playing defense that was great. You know what I'm saying? You had Goldman out there, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But like still literally like led all of that, the whole pack. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it is like looking back, like knowing basketball nowadays, the way that he moved without the ball I feel like it's like the old folks back in the 1600s or whenever it was, like listening to Mozart and stuff like that. Like it's beautiful. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about Jody, how beautiful Jody was, he screen to screen and run off a whole lot of actions that we see with like Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and stuff like that nowadays. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And like going in, of course I wasn't thinking about how I'm thinking about it now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, we in trouble. I'm thinking about like, oh, it's another game against Jalen. I have no idea what type of defense they are about to throw at us. You know what I'm saying? Because Jody Wright defensive man is the best. The like the best coach in East Tennessee history as far as like defense, in my opinion. I don't think it's close. You know what I'm saying? Like ridiculously way he teaches defense. But like every time you had to play against Jalen, you just knew like it was going to be a battle to the finish. You know what I'm saying? Him especially. I only got to play against Dre once in high school. I wish we could have done it a bit more. I feel like that's something that the city definitely needed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a lot of the young boys going up against each other around that time. You know what I'm saying? But just to go on a record about like Dre as well. You know what I'm saying? As far as like PGs, I felt like what he like. I was telling Lynn with this too. Like I felt like it's what he like achieved at Central. You know what I'm saying? It's like he definitely overachieved. I feel like that should be talked about more. Like I don't know if his jersey's hung up in the Raptors right now, but like it should be. Like we need to go. We need to start a petition. They started a petition for a lot of things. We need to start a petition for that. For him to get his jersey hung in the Raptors. It's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like it's ridiculous. Like you're talking about like people like playing with like not a whole lot of talent. Dre had a couple shooters. Had Linwood really playing good defense. Linwood has another shooter. You know what I'm saying? They had Black Band, a tough guy, and that's really about it. You know what I'm saying? And then he just going out there and whittling them all away. You know what I'm saying? And like this brings me to my last point. I know I'm rambling about, but like the fact that like I said, like I felt that we like all played in the toughest era, and the fact that like Jalen Steele and Dre didn't get like, because those are like the two, like, you know what I'm saying, who I feel like are the upper echelon of like our era as far as guards. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the fact that like they didn't get as many looks as they should have is criminal. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's criminal. You know what I'm saying? And I just always think like it's just a bit unfair about like East Tennessee basketball in general, is the fact that like you judge somebody just like the fact of where they at. Like it's like young Jordan and what he did out of Carter, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like a few of the guys that went, and I ain't kept up with the basketball too much in the city, but like a few of the guys that went to HBCUs, you know what I'm saying, out of high school and stuff like that, like they've done good. The fact that like Dre went to Morehead State, did his thing, left, went to JUCO, did his thing there, became All-American, left, went, you know what I'm saying, with the Big Ten. Had a great career in Minnesota, you know what I'm saying? And that like folks will keep on overlooking people just because like their geographical location is a bit shit in me, you know. But
hey,
it's good. But
that's why we got this show, man. That's why we got this show, man. You know what I'm saying?
And I would also like, just one more thing. I want to give a shout out to B Mace and what they're doing for East Tennessee basketball.
That's
from the bottom of our heart. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Because like I just said, they was, you know what I'm saying, it's hard. It's real hard for us over this way. He made that hurdle, you know, significantly.
He did.
For real. Like bottom of my heart, man. We appreciate that for sure.
He did, man. Shout out Quiz Glover, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Quiz is the truth. But shoot, I know, man. Don't get me started on Quiz, man. Quiz is the. I watch them highlights, man. Like you gotta like one time you talking about like people that's killers. Like imagine imagine you. I think it was Farrakhan. It was his and like it's your senior year of high school. Some of these kids never played basketball again.
Right.
And the last thing that you see is Quez Glover doing a windmill on you to send you home in the regional semifinal. I watched the video 20 times, bro. I'm talking about I was jumping up like I was there, like I was the one that dunked it. Like that's different right there. You know what I'm saying? Like that's meant he didn't send him home with a layup, he didn't send him home with a dunk, he ain't thought about it, or he sent him home with a windmill. That's the last thing they'll ever remember in basketball. That's what I love about the game. You know what I'm saying? That's what I love about Quiz. And he beat James Wiseman, who was going to be a 4-time state champion. You got to respect that, too. You know what I'm saying? And he was still even under-recruited a bit, you know? Yeah. Which is a bit ridiculous to me, but you know what I'm saying? I could go on and on about our talent, man. I'm just really excited that, like, we finally get, you know what I'm saying, like a bit of notoriety. Like that we did finally get some pros coming out of East Tennessee, man.
Definitely.
And I love it, man.
So Lopez, what is the toughest place you played, man?
Rupp Arena, not even close.
Yeah,
Rupp Arena. I've seen. Like I tell people, like things you got to do as your bucket list. Like you got to. I would like to tell people, like you got to go out the country. You know, go visit somewhere you always want to visit. Get your passport. Yeah. Go to a Jay-Z concert. He puts on a phenomenal show. Go to a basketball game at Rupp Arena. It is unreal. First and foremost, they put like, you know how they put like the guests behind the bench usually, or like somewhere around there in the good areas. They put you in the 400 so far with the cheap seat. Like the coaches' wives, everybody up there. They don't care who you are. So they already setting the stage then. Then you go in there, they rocking, like yelling back and forth. It's ridiculous.
Okay.
Like we sit here like yelling at each other, like you know what I'm saying? Like I'm talking to y'all, you still can't hear anybody. People on the bench like nervous. You can just tell. It's like a certain intensity about people. They're like, if you're not 100% locked in, you're going to have a bad game and you're going to get beat. That's why you only see certain people. That's why you only see certain, maybe like every 2-3 years, you really see that somebody has a big game in rough. It takes like a very, very, very different person to have a big game.
Somebody's locked in.
Yeah, you got to really, really be locked in to have a different game in rough. And I just feel like you got to just, like I said, you got to have like the Quez Glover-ish mentality that like you going in here just like, you know, it is what it is, or nothing to lose. Because you got to a rough arena, man. Rough arena's like, that's another animal. That's another animal there, man.
When I think of rump arena, the phrase that come to my mind is you can't hide. You know what I'm saying? You can't hide.
Yeah, for real, man.
You feel me?
Ain't no hiding there. No.
Yeah,
No sirree.
The lights are on, the lights are bright.
Yeah, like they say back in the day, the lights are on, man. I'm pretty sure that we didn't win a game there, actually. During my time, man.
Right.
I mean, they had some dogs. There's some dogs that come up again, but
That's when they was pushing them out.
Yeah.
So man Lopez, so you was at AE, and then you know you get a different opportunity, man. That when I first caught wind of it, man, I was excited. I'm like you when you was explaining the thing about when Quez hit the windmill. When I heard that you had an opportunity, man, you know, to do something different, man, I was really excited. So where did you go? Where did you end up going?
I went to Christ School. It's a all boys preparatory school in a small city called Arden, North Carolina. It's maybe like 20, 25 minutes outside of Asheville. It's a real good basketball school. We ended up being ranked. I think we peaked at 8th in the country. To the first, actually, the inaugural ESPN, I believe it was the inaugural ESPN national tournament. That's where like we got like that's where like we had the first Sox that ever came out, like they get the works. And then we ran into Austin Rivers, you know, like he ended up ending our season. But it was a really good experience, man. Like I ended up playing, I think it was maybe 12 of us on the team, like 10 of us ended up going D1. Like a whole lot of people had really good careers. A few guys playing overseas right now. I don't think anybody got to that. Well, no, I'm lying. Marshall Plumlee actually got to the
Plumlee,
NBA.
yeah, I was about to say Plumlee got.
Yeah. Marshall Plumlee got to the NBA. You know, he had a really good career at Duke. Did he win a championship? I'm sure you know.
Yeah, you should know Lynn Wilson. You're a fan.
Yeah,
I'm sure you know. Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Like we had an amazing team. It was ridiculous, man. Like I've never played on a team so low. It was a really good experience. I got to meet a whole lot of guys. You know what I'm saying? That I still keep in touch with, like to this day. As far as like the school outside of basketball. No, it was really good. It was really good. We got to travel a bit to play against like a bunch of different guys. We had to play against St. Vincent St. Mary's, which was a pretty dope experience, I believe. They had the guy that's in the league right now. I can't think of his name. He like came out. He came out of my class. I'll bring it back up if I can think about it. But like we had like a lot of really good games in the winning the state championship, which was cool. It's not like winning one at Austin East, but
right.
It was still cool though, man. Like, and the fact that we got the chance to compete for a national championship on television, which was like really, 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 really great, man. You know, it ended up turning up short, but it was definitely a great experience. Like, I tell everybody, like, if an opportunity did present itself, like, I don't suggest, like, people ask me about, like, should you do it or should you not? I say, like, I guess it's your own decision, but you got to stick with it. Like, don't ever regret what you do. Like, I don't ever regret going there. I don't regret coming back.
Yeah.
I like that. Hey, you know what he was doing, Linwood? Hey, power forward, man. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't looking back. He wasn't looking back. You know what I'm saying? I like that.
Absolutely.
So many different meanings to it, man. Definitely power forward.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. Like I'm more thinking about that, like, like I'm always, like I said, power forward. I like to say keep going. You know what I'm saying? Like I always have your ups and your lows. You can't beat yourself up, can't get too excited about yourself. Just gotta keep on maintaining.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's crazy because I was watching a video, and I think he was a sophomore. He might have been a sophomore, and it was Jordan McCray talking about, man, Brandon Lopez is that leader. Like, he does a lot of stuff that people don't see that is needed in practice. He's bringing it every day. Where did that come from, Lopez?
Yeah, dude. That like I said at the beginning of the show, that comes from Aaron Jazz. Like, they instilled that in us from day one, man. Like, I don't think people understand like what you really go through during like trying to achieve a dream at such a young level. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't have a childhood, man. You know, like, we ain't go on vacations. We ain't like my first vacation I went on was it's like when I was like after college or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was like when I was studying overseas. Like, we never went on vacations. Like, Howard wasn't taking us to the beach. Howard and Jazz were taking us to the beach. We weren't going to Universal Studios. We weren't going to none of that. It was strictly basketball. It was business from day one. That's what they always tell us. Like, imagine like you're 9 or 10 years old, and you got, like, you know what I'm saying, grown men telling you, like, you going here for a business trip. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can just put it in your head so much that eventually, like, you just lock in.
Right.
And it's just like the mentality you develop.
Turn your phones in. Don't bring no video games.
None of that. Like, like, it was no phones, no video games. Shoot, you had to be in bed at a certain time. He waking you up playing Jay-Z. What more can I say? Every single morning at the crack of dawn. Like
kind of weird.
You already know what time it is. Like, I still got the memories vividly in my head, man.
Yeah.
Like, we used to run like, no lie, 10 suicides before practice, 10 after. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hot in Cal Johnson gym. Ain't no iron there. Like, they trying to kill us. My thing about it is that, like, them folks doing it the same way in Memphis.
Yeah.
You know, like, doing it the same way, you know what I'm saying, in like Little Rock, Arkansas, Jacksonville, Florida, you know, New York, of course. So you got to compete. Like, that's just the way that I brought. Like, at Tennessee, you know what I'm saying? Like, I knew that I wasn't going to play a lot like that, but I worked harder than everybody else. And it was either me, like, as far as like being in the gym heavy, it was really me, Jordan McCray, and like, we were the 3 heaviest gym rats. You know what I'm saying? Like, and my thing about it is that, like, I can't go into anything not giving my best, even though, like, it's like, okay, like, I know that my chances are slim playing at Tennessee. I know that these guys are significantly more talented. I know that they bigger than me physically. I know they more, you know what I'm saying? They're not smarter than me. Like, I feel like I was the smartest person on the court every time I stepped on there. You know, that was my one advantage. But, like, I still had to be able to, like, I guess, be able to help the team out in some way. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you got these people that, like, beat this mentality into your brain since you was a kid, like, you're going to exude that no matter what. No matter if you like the 15 guard on the bench. Like, I was at the end of the bench. But, like, I was still, you know what I'm saying, telling people, I'm still talking bad to people in practice. Like, I don't care who you are, you know what I'm saying? Like, trying to scuffle it up with anybody. Like, the biggest dude, the shortest dude, you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to push people to get better, you know? Like, shit, I remember, like, one time I'm making Jerron sandwiches because he was, like, late for practice. You know what I'm saying? We didn't want him to run suicides. Like, I'm calling people at a certain time, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm getting up in the morning working out with Jordan when he was a freshman and all that, you know? Anything to help the squad. You know what I'm saying? Anything to help the squad, because I want to win a national championship. You know what I'm saying? And like, when you got your whole team locked in front to back like that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't trying to me, like, I wasn't trying to intrude, like, trying to be like a force or anything, trying to be like a rah-rah guy. I just wanted to win. And I knew, like, if I sat there and I pushed them folks as hard as I could possibly, you know what I'm saying? I felt like I'm at least doing my part.
Definitely get the most out of it like that.
Man,
get the most out of it, man.
I love that, man. It just embodies everything about team when you can
Absolutely,
put everything to the side and do whatever you feel like. Any little thing that you can do that's gonna be good for the team. And when you always got that kind of mindset, man, you know, you definitely gonna shine. And that's why you shining now, though. Just being honest, bro.
Appreciate it, man. I mean, that's what folks really don't understand about, like, if you really want to get seen, you got to win ball games. Simply put, like, if like, that's, I mean, with us, it's always been a win at all costs, you know, as long as it's ethical, of course. A win at all costs mentality. You know, it's just how we was raised.
Right.
Like, no matter what it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, we used to be out there just playing. I remember playing basketball at Devin crib. We used to be out there trying to kill each other. Like, Devin crib was probably about, like, what was it, about 12 by 10 wood? Like, it wasn't big, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't super big at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? It probably was like a free throw line extended, like, as far as length and about width, like, about the same. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're out there trying to kill each other just because we want to
go. You have to just going.
That's it. One goal. Just competing. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's one thing, like any young fellas watching this, I want, you know, y'all to understand, like, you know, if you really want to, like, make it anywhere in life, regardless if it's like sports or anything outside, like, you gotta just be willing to win and put the time in and win. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta be. Like, you gotta put the time in no matter what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I work in finance now. Before I made, like, any type of, like, my first, like, decisions of, like, where to put my money in terms of, like, 401k, etc., I read for 3 years straight. Because I want to understand everything front to back before, you know what I'm saying, I really started going out there and sacrificing my money, stuff like that. Like, it ain't gonna happen overnight. Nothing does. You know, you really gotta put the time in out here.
Nothing good does. Definitely not.
Right, man. That's awesome, man. That's awesome, man. Um, Another thing, dog. So you know, kind of moving forward, man. So you know, we end up at UT. You know, you kind of talked about that whole thing, but the thing I wanted to focus on too was the education part, man. Because you know,
man.
you already said that you was a champion on the court. You feel me? As far as your effort and the things you gave to the team. But then, what did you give yourself while you was at UT? You know?
Yeah. I've always been hard in the classroom. Like, I remember my mother instilled that in me very, very early age. You know, like she got a degree from UT and she also got a degree from Georgia Law. So like, she's always put her foot in my butt, like in terms of education. Like I remember like getting B's in middle school and I'd be, really upset, like ripping my report card.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just comes from the fact that like I wanted to win, like I wanted to be perfect at everything. You know, like I ended up graduating high school with a 4.0. I slacked off a bit in college. You know, it's really hard when you've been like a student athlete with the NCAA and like how they impose their will on players and such. I'm not gonna get too much into that, but you know what I'm saying? Like it was a bit tough, but like for me personally, like I still went extremely hard in school though, you know. Like I remember like going into our Sweet 16, like we went on Sweet 16, we was probably in class, maybe like once a week, twice a week max, because you just traveling so much at that time. Like I had 6 finals as soon as we got done. You know, like I gotta pass all these finals. If nothing, I don't get in the business school. If I don't get in the business school, then my life gonna be, you know what I'm saying? I don't know where I'm gonna go. You know? Like everything still has to stay the course, you know. So like I had to get in them books and still like, like you said, like it's still a team thing at the end of the day. Like I said, I'm not playing a whole lot. So my GPA has to be better. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like some people may think like that's weird or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? That's a loser mentality. If like you are not providing in some sort of way to your team to make your team better on and off the court. If not, you're a loser. You know what I'm saying? You can't like it's just my thing. You know what I'm saying? I've always been. You got to be able to produce some way if you're gonna be on the squad to help. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I've like definitely went hard in the books. Definitely.
So by the time you left UT, what kind of accolades or accomplishments did you have?
So yeah, I left UT, man. I ended up having, let me think of some things, man. I ended up getting back-to-back, what was it? Academic Athletic Award for like the DINA organization, for like our Greek letter organization. I don't remember the exact name of the awards. I got like the Team Before Self Award, you know what I'm saying, for being like the most selfless player. You know, not like a ton of huge accolades on the court, of course, like some decent ones off the court. You know, like I graduated with the business school with about like a 3.1 or 3.2 or something like that. Like it wasn't terrific, but like, being in class, man, twice a week max, man. Like I don't think people really understand like the whole, like I said, student athlete thing, you know what I'm saying? Especially playing like in the SEC. Like you got a lot, but all that stuff set me up though for like what took me next after I graduated. You know what I'm saying? Like I ended up going to school through a program called Mountain Batten Institute actually, and ended up getting my MBA from a school in London, England called St. Mary's Twickenham. So like studied in London for a year, got to travel to like 15 different countries. Then I ended up moving to Thailand for like 4 months. Got to meet some really great people over there. You know, like studied, got to learn a ridiculous amount about business. Like our professor, his name was Jeff. He helped save like 1 or 2 English Premier League clubs from like, going under at one point in time. Like a terrific international consultant. Like taught us, just absolutely everything about business. Like as far as like international taxes, like law, different things like that. Like how corporations move around different money. Like how you can, invest your money in a certain accounts, etc. Like it was just a really good experience. But like one thing, and it's one thing I always wanted to say about cameras that like, there's nothing wrong with like looking yourself in the mirror after high school and stuff like that. Like I haven't told a whole lot of people this. Like one of the reasons why I really went to UT is because like I knew that I wasn't as talented as I initially thought that I was in basketball. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to be like keep it real with yourself like at 18 years old. You know what I'm saying? It really is, but like I had to look myself in the mirror and be like, okay, like I know I won't get a whole lot of playing time at UT. I know I'm gonna have to like really get it out the mud and really fight extremely hard to play. But I know that I would get a good education. I know that I'll make a ton of connections. I know that I'll be able to put on for my hometown right here in Knoxville, Tennessee. You know what I'm saying? Those are things that I could live with.
You definitely did that too.
And I went hard in basketball. You know what I'm saying? I gave basketball my all. Like I have zero regrets about the game. You know what I'm saying? Like I tore my ACL in pickup in the summer. Just because my body couldn't take the pain no more, I tried to come to a jump stop. One of my teammates, our teammates give you a little nudge a little bit when you I try to kick that jump. He did like it. Career done. Like I knew right then and there I told my ACL, man, but it was all good though, because like when you give the game your all, man, like when you really, really, really give the game your all, like I believe that I did.
No
I feel
regrets.
like I know that I did. There's no regret. There's no regrets. The only thing like I wish that I could still play, because I miss playing the game, man. Like it's nothing like the game, bro. Like just getting up, it's like going to because you compete. Like I don't get to compete no more like I used to, man. I guess that's really, really hard dealing with. That's really hard dealing with. But like in my career, like I'll be able to. So it's I guess it's a good replacement, but it's nothing like the game though.
Oh no,
I think it's big. I think it's big, man. I think, like I said, I think it's big that you went and you finished.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you was a student athlete, and one thing I think a lot of kids don't pay attention to is there are a lot of athletes that are what I call pawns, man.
Yeah,
they're just to play basketball. Did you see that any? I mean, you don't necessarily have to call nobody out or anything like that.
Yeah, man. No, I won't call out anybody specifically, but what I will call out is the institutions themselves and how they don't police this nearly as strongly as they should. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like some guys going in there and they getting majors that are not going to benefit them at all. You know what I'm saying? You sitting there giving your body to the university day after day, night after night. And then you end up walking out at either not graduating or graduating with a degree. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to benefit you. And you know what I'm saying? Really, it's not going to benefit you for the long term. Like I said, is that like one thing you got to understand about like education, about like college, like I have 2 degrees. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's not to brag or anything. It's to say for the fact that like, if you don't go through the education system, that's fine. If you want to get a job right, that's cool. College isn't for everybody. You know what I'm saying? I can go on and on about this. My point is that if you do go to college for free and you don't take advantage of that, that is your fault. You know what I'm saying? Your fault. And even more than it is your fault, it is the institution that is helping you academically fault. When you go in there, they should try to help you out and give you like, you know what I'm saying, somewhere that you're going to be. They shouldn't ask you what you're going to be. Nobody knows if they want to be at 18 years old.
No.
If you were an athlete, you want to do one thing, only is get to the league. If you're going to do one, you want to get to the league. You don't want to do anything else. You're not thinking about nothing else but getting to the league. You know what I'm saying? Especially like a lot of the guys, like, you know what I'm saying? I could say like, not for like myself, but like the Jordan McCrae's of the world, the Jonell Stokes, the A.J. Johnsons, you know what I'm saying? We're going to football, you know what I'm saying? Like those guys. Yeah, they're trying to get to the league. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But my thing about it is that like not everybody gets to the league. And the institutions themselves, in my opinion, like I said, they don't really enforce it nearly as good as they should, man. And it's really sickening to see. It's really sickening to see, man. You know what I'm saying? Because it's, I mean, like for myself, like I told you, like my mom put her foot in my butt from the time like I was a baby from the time now. You know what I'm saying, with my education. So I was blessed to, like, you know what I'm saying, really have that. I was privileged. Let's call it what it is. I was privileged, you know what I'm saying, really have a good educational foundation growing up. Not everybody's like that, you know. So I feel like I should definitely do a better job of like enforcing these people, these student athletes, to like really try to get a better education for themselves. You know, not to say that one education is better than another, but the fact that like they're not doing nearly, trust me, they're not doing nearly as much as they should to really be helping these student athletes out get a better education, man. Or at least setting them up for the future. You know what I'm saying? Like not teaching them about taxes, not teaching them about anything financial, about where to put their money. You know, just sending them out blind. I'm like, you can at least give them some type of background that's going to help them out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
At least when I was in school back from 2011 to 2015, like you didn't really see it as much as I feel like you should have. You know?
Yeah.
Because the reality is that a lot of guys aren't gonna be in the NBA.
No.
Yeah.
And even if they are in the NBA, you know, how long is that gonna last? You know,
What are you gonna do afterwards? You can't play in the NBA forever.
Right. No, you can't. Your mind lasts longer than your legs, and that's one thing. Like I always like to tell folks, you know.
Right.
Like when them legs gone, they gone, man. You know, you gotta have a backup plan, and everybody not gonna make $100 million.
No.
Simple. Like it's tough. Like it's a tough world in basketball, man. Like I tell people, it's like if I had to compare basketball to anything, it's really like the biggest gamble you can have in your life. That's like as far as like that's what I really like. I don't think a whole lot of young kids understand. I want them to really understand. That's why I always ask people. I be like, "Are you sure you want to play basketball? Like, are you really sure you want to play basketball? Because you're not gonna have a childhood. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna be able to kick it with your friends.
No,
You know.
no, you want to do it to this level.
No, not if you now if you want to do it on that level, cool. You know, you can do it for fun. Like, but if you really want to play basketball, you're not gonna be able to do that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta really be sure about what you want to do.
Yeah.
It's gonna definitely take a lot of sacrifice, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I mean, speaking of that, I give y'all a quick scenario of how like our day used to be in the preseason at UT. So you had to be on the court at 5:30 a.m. Like at 5:30 a.m. I had to be on the court. If not, then trust me, I don't want to talk about that. You're gonna leave, go to class. Go to class maybe about 8 to noon. Leave from class, go get some lunch. If you know what I'm saying, then you got another workout around the lunchtime. Leave lunch, go back. Then you got your evening workout. Get a tutor, and then you're gonna mess around and have to get some shots up at night. You know what I'm saying? It's like 4 workouts one day. On top of like lifting weights and all that different stuff like that, man. You know, it's different.
Yeah.
Practice before
Definitely got to be dedicated.
Yeah, you definitely do. That's why I like when you see these silly people on Twitter and on these different social media pages talking about like they could get a bucket on somebody in the NBA. And I'm like, bro, you have to change. Like I don't think people like, because like I like to think about basketball like this. Like Kobe Bryant played 20 years in the NBA, right? If you got a guy that's been selling cars for 20 years and he's like an all-star like Kobe Bryant is, like he's gonna be a really good, you know what I'm saying, car sales. Like I like to think about it like you gotta compare that same thing. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna know everything about selling cars, he's gonna know everything about cars and all the stuff like that. No matter how good you are, if you play in the NBA, you know what I'm saying, for a certain amount of time, you're gonna know everything about basketball. Like you're gonna be able to just beat everybody. You know what I'm saying? It's insane how good people are in the NBA. It's insane how good the talent is right now in the NBA. You know, it's going to be very, very tough for people to get to the NBA within the next 10 or 15 years, man.
Oh yeah,
it's
you got 7-footers coming down dribbling. It's
that's
scary.
what I'm saying, man. I don't think people really understand like the evolution that the NBA, excuse me, is going under, man. I love like as far as watching it, but like you know, like as far as like my kids, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't have kids right now, but like I don't even know if I would put them in basketball once I do have. You know what I'm saying? Because physically, I just don't know. Like I'm only 6 feet tall on my best day. You know what I'm saying? I'm listening. Only 6 feet tall on my best day. I don't know if they would physically be able to compete with what's going on out here now. You know, like it's mind blowing. It's mind blowing. Like how good these folks are out here. Like,
hey Lopez, have you seen this guy right here, man? I think is the next one, right? Is I've been telling Linwood, Imani Bates.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh boy. Man, I'm glad y'all brought him up. Imani Bates is the greatest high school talent as a sophomore in the history of sport. Period.
Yeah.
Come on,
Wrestling.
baby. Come
Period.
on.
He's better than LeBron at this age right now.
Come on.
Yeah.
Period. I've never seen anything like Imani Bates in my life. Never. Not in any type of sport. I've watched basketball from the 40s up until now. Like I'm a basketball historian. I love the game. I've never seen anything like him in my life. He is right. I feel like he is kind of right now. Maybe like what maybe like folks were seeing like with Wilt Chamberlain back in the day at the first time. You were like, bro, what is it? This kid is like 6'10" in high school.
Yeah.
As a sophomore, got everything. Like I told folks, and people think he could go out there, he could get 20 right now in the ACC. I don't care what anybody says.
Right.
He get 20 right now in the ACC.
Oh, yeah.
He can even come off the bench in the league and get you a few points. It's insane.
Oh, yeah.
Like physically, he'll struggle, of course, because you know he's a teenager. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He's a teenager. So, but I still think I think it's undisputed that he's the best talent at this age right now. You know, like the thing about it is that LeBron took such a step up from his sophomore to junior year level that we have to see. You know, if we do get a basketball year. If we do get a basketball season this year, you know, we'll see. But he's the best I've seen, man. I like it's scary.
It's not even close.
Been able to do all that. It's not even close.
No.
It's not even close. Like I like, you know what I'm saying? Like Linwood knows we played against everybody in high school. Like literally, like everybody. And I've like if we play against him, I even know that Howard and Jazz would be over thinking like. Like for real, man. And them are two of the most competitive dudes I know. But it's nothing you could do with Imani Bates. He gonna play. And the thing about him is what's crazier than all this is that like it's up here. He got the he's a nutcase when it comes to basketball. I watch highlights of him in pickup, and he is screaming at people and cursing at people and dunking on people and all that stuff. Like he played like I don't know how that man grew up or something like that, but something had to happen to him in his childhood for him to have a mentality like that.
He got an old school pops.
Yeah. Okay. It makes sense.
Got an old school pops that used to hoop. And from the time that I first saw him, I think I've been following him probably since he was 11. You know, they was interviewing him and stuff. And man, his head was on point then. You know, he said he was saying all the right stuff. He didn't care about no rankings, any of that kind of stuff. He wasn't worried about none of that. But the thing that impressed me with him is the size and the skill set, but it's the quickness and the coordination. Man, and then after you talk about that, then he got the nerve to have a KD mentality, a KG mentality out there.
Exactly, and I don't think people talk about that enough. Like he gonna give you 30 at 4 different levels. He gonna give you he gonna score at 4 different levels.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's scary. It's truly unheard of, man. And like I was talking to one of my friends about this earlier. We was talking about the Michael Jordan documentary. Like, I'm not saying he has that competitive nature like that, but he got a little something close, man.
Yeah,
he got a little something close because I've watched a lot of film on him, Mighty Bates, and it's something in his head that like not a whole lot of athletes, not even basketball, not a whole lot of athletes have. Like he's trained to kill. Like even LeBron James wasn't trained to kill at his age. LeBron, you know what I'm saying? LeBron found that later on, like when he got to the NBA, you know, a bit later on in his career. Like Imani Bates, I feel like has been trained to kill since he came out the womb. Like your Kobe type of guys, you know. Like, I'm very, very, very excited to see him at the next level. And then they're gonna let him go to high school. I mean, to the pros out of high school.
Yeah. And see, the thing about him is when you that big so young, usually you clumsy. No, he knows exactly what he's doing. He's putting that thing in the goal.
That's what I'm saying. It's ridiculous, man. Like he got step backs, he got side steps, he got Euro steps, he got floaters, he'll dunk on you. Like I don't even like to watch him dunk. I like to watch all this other stuff. Like his skill set is unreal, you know. And he's 16.
Yeah.
Like with a 7, well, I'm sure his wingspan probably like about 7'3", 7'4".
Oh yeah, definitely.
Man, Lopez,
it's ridiculous, man.
Check it out, man. So you know, after UT, man, you know, you get a chance to go to Italy and all that kind of stuff, man. Talk a little bit more about what you're doing out in Houston now. You know, as a professional.
Yeah.
You know, you said you went over to Italy, so you got your master's.
Yeah. I ended up getting my master's in international business with like a focus in international finance. So right now I work for an Australian financial services company. I work in an investment bank. It's called Macquarie Group. Work in agriculture derivatives, so like corn, soybeans, sugar, cotton, different stuff like that. Like we basically like manage all of their risk, making sure stuff get from point A to point B. Basically, long story short, man, it's hard work. You know, it's intense. Like it's long, but like it's like I said, it's competitive. It keeps me like I learn a lot every day. You know what I'm saying? Like I work with a great competitive team that really wants to win. You know, like it's not quite basketball, but I'll take it. Like, you know, like it's one thing. That's one thing about finance, man. Just Houston in general, like, you know, like coming from East Knoxville, man. Just like the South, and just like I speak on this a bit, just like the South in general. Like, I don't think a whole lot of people really understand like how life is like coming from the rural South. Like your cities that aren't Nashville or Miami or different stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like usually the wealth is concentrated towards one area, as we see in West Knoxville. You know, for example, and they're like North Knoxville, South Knoxville, East Knoxville. Like we struggle. Like our communities aren't nearly as polished as theirs. You know, we don't have a whole lot of resources and such like that. And when you grow up in like something like that, you know what I'm saying, it's difficult to see a whole lot of different things, you know, a whole lot of different things. I don't think like I won't wish on, you know, any young man growing up, no matter where it is. And it's not just like in East Knoxville or like North Knoxville, like, you know what I'm saying, in Knoxville. Like it's a thing that's rampant in the South. And the thing that, if I know I'm rambling a bit, but the thing that, like, you know, I don't think a whole lot of people talk about, you know, and it's just like a struggle, just like to make it out of that mentality, like, you know, like the Southern mentality, like a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, that we do have. But moving to Houston, you know, if I can get on, like, It's a whole lot of like open-minded young individuals like myself, you know what I'm saying? Like a whole lot of people like really, really, really get into the money. Like they're really hustlers, you know what I'm saying? They like to win. Like a whole lot of, like you'll see like young fellas like 24, 25 pulling up in like Beamers, BMWs, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like if you're into like the whole materialistic thing, like a whole lot of really good people, a lot of young folks starting their own businesses and different stuff like that, like doing different investments, right? It's like stocks, bonds, cryptocurrencies, FX, alternative investments, ETC. It's really good to see, man. And it's something that like I always said, like one thing that I learned from my travels and like living in Houston like that is that like we can really start and bring all of that back to our communities, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it really just takes some investment, man. And just take people properly managing these companies, you know what I'm saying, really keeping the community safe and different things like that. Like I've always been, thinking that like in terms of like East Knoxville, it can be rebuilt. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing like I was saying like in Houston. You know what I'm saying? Like they trying to gentrify East Knoxville right now, which I don't think a whole lot of people are seeing. They try to do the same thing in Houston, but like Slim Thug and like a few of the rest of like the wealthier people in Houston that are black that came in and like bought a whole lot of, you know what I'm saying, of the infrastructure around these different parts of Houston.
Man,
And just the fact that like coming from like just the fact that like in East Knoxville and these different other places, you know what I'm saying, like around these southern communities in the South, like I said, like they might get pushed out, just for justification, just like a bit, it's a bit absurd to me. But if I can like conclude about like that whole thing, like definitely think we should be like reinvesting back in our communities. You know what I'm saying? Like it takes a village, man.
Who won't do it?
Exactly. They're gonna just push us out with the gentrification, man. You know what I'm saying? Like one thing I went home, like, I was home a couple of weeks ago, man. I seen speed bumps on East Fifth and on Woodbine. They don't call it East Fifth or Woodbine anymore. They call it what is it, the historic Shahawi Hills or like Park Hills or something like that. And they have these like nice fancy signs and stuff like that. Like that's gentrification on the way. You know what I'm saying?
It is.
That's gentrification on the way. Like I know that this is the basketball podcast, but I just want people to understand. Like I've seen gentrification in Bangkok. I've seen it in London. I've seen it in Philadelphia when I was 11 years old. Like I've seen it everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Knoxville time is coming. And just, so that best man has to come soon, man.
I definitely like what you're saying about reinvesting back in your community, man. That with me working right in East Knoxville at Vine and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. That's some of the things that I've talked to with a couple of our students. Like look around at some of the options you have as far as food choices, places to shop, all these different things. Some of these things can be changed, but it's got to start with right here.
Yeah, it does, man. Yeah.
And sacrifice some of the things like what you're doing. We need an architect, right?
Yeah. We definitely.
We need people that can build. We need contractors. We need all those things. So imagine if you have people in all those different places that you went to school with, and all y'all are successful, and y'all put y'all money together and start coming up with a development plan for East Knoxville. But you got to get that power first, right?
Got to, yeah, man. That's the thing about it, like the power struggle in terms of, like I said, when you're trying to get pushed out, like they're going to raise your taxes up really high and different things like that. Like we see it in Nashville all the time. It's boy, oh boy, I could talk about it all day. Like I believe someone compared living in Houston versus living in Nashville, you pay $14K more taxes on your houses. Not just because your property tax is so high. And that's by design, no matter what anybody tells you, it's by design. But it is what it is. So, it's a system of capitalism. I'm not complaining about it, you know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is, But my thing about it is you have to be prepared for these things. That's really what I'm getting at. You have to really, really, really understand what's about to go on in Knoxville, Like Austin Holmes, man. I drove up.
That freaked you out.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
I'm scared about what we're gonna see there, bro.
Jesus. Oh, I already know what they're gonna put. They're gonna put some it's gonna be student housing apartments, so it's gonna be like some new things to overlook downtown, like some new skyrise apartments to overlook downtown. I guarantee it.
Some off price.
Something that's like $1,200 a month. You know what I'm saying? Like in Knoxville. Like, come on, man.
No.
Right.
Like it's absurd, man. But capitalism.
But man. Lopez, man, we proud of you, man. We proud.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, man.
Man, make sure you do me this favor, man. Keep putting on for the city, man. Keep being an example for all the young people here in Knoxville, and the older people like myself, man. You give my heart joy, bro. because I work with
Appreciate it,
these
man.
kids,
Appreciate it.
and this the stuff I want to see. You know what I'm
Yeah, I
saying?
mean, likewise with you, man. Like I tell everybody that, like, you know, especially working in the communities I grew up with, I appreciate it, man. Like from the bottom of my heart, 'cause folks don't understand what you got to deal with on the day, man. You know, I don't think they do, especially like you too, Linwood. You know what I'm saying? Because like y'all working with kids like as they are becoming young men. You know what I'm saying? That's a very, very, very sensitive time to be dealing with kids. You know, like I do a great job at it, man. I definitely appreciate that.
Man, but man, we enjoy having B Lopez, man, here on Power
Absolutely, man.
Forward, man.
Definitely appreciate you for coming on.
Absolutely, bro. It's always love, man.
Man,
Absolute pleasure, man. Absolutely.
man, that's what's up, man. It's all love. We're gonna sign out, man.
All right, man. Y'all take it easy.
Later.